Think about what it takes to keep modern software alive. Beneath slick interfaces, the internet relies on millions of pounds of physical hardware. Deploying a distributed application today means buying into a massive operational headache. You rent cloud compute, configure Kubernetes clusters, and manage centralized Docker swarms, all of which burns through cache and engineering hours. Despite all that complexity, the entire system is fragile. Most applications ultimately sit on hardware controlled by a single major cloud provider. This setup acts as a barrier to entry for independent developers. It creates a massive centralized choke point where a single cloud provider can simply pull the plug and take your project dark. Whether it's a hardware failure or a sudden platform ban, traditional hosting means your software can be killed in an instant. The standard escape route from this centralization is to pivot to Web3. Developers try to build decentralized networks using tools like IPFS or distributed hash tables to keep their code alive across multiple independent nodes. But those solutions introduce a brutal learning curve. You have to run specialized nodes, manage cryptographic keys, and fund the storage overhead. Imagine a different approach. What if a resilient distributed network required 0 servers, 0 compute costs, and 0 new platforms to operate? Censorship resistance is only useful if it's accessible. We desperately need a way to distribute code that doesn't require a massive budget or a PhD in distributed systems. Enter DevSwarm. It is a cross-platform Git repository that behaves like an autonomous, decentralized network. The entire system relies on a single idea. The repository itself is the distributable unit. There are no installation scripts or dedicated servers. It bypasses traditional hosting by running entirely on standard features already built into platforms like GitHub and GitLab. By treating everyday developer tools as networking equipment, developers can achieve enterprise-grade distribution for free. The system relies on 3 basic primitives. The first is replication through forking. When you click fork on a platform, you instantly create a perfect node in the network. You don't have to pull Docker images or write complex config files. The Forge's backend handles the transfer, giving you a true, complete copy of the software in seconds. The second primitive is coordination. DevSwarm uses free CI/CD pipelines, like GitHub Actions, as the network's heartbeat. Every 6 hours, this automated pipeline wakes up. It syncs data with the upstream parent, maps out the current topology of the swarm, and heals any broken links. The third primitive is consensus. In a typical network, nodes need complex algorithms to agree on data. Here, the swarm uses the coordinator script to treat Git's linear commit history as the source of truth, automatically reconciling updates from upstream to ensure every node stays in sync. The built-in Git history naturally serves as a transparent, cryptographically verifiable audit trail. This strategy is called platform parasitism. The swarm uses the hosting provider's CDN for data transfer, their servers for compute, and their REST APIs for node discovery. By recombining tools that developers use every day, DevSwarm replicates the functions of expensive orchestration software at no cost. Trying to censor this network is a logistical nightmare. Taking down the origin repository doesn't stop the swarm, as remaining forks continue to propagate. To kill the code, an attacker has to locate and delete every single fork across separate platforms like GitHub, GitLab, and Codeberg simultaneously. To prevent malicious actors from injecting unverified code during this process, the protocol uses a formal security model. By testing the logic with the Tamarin prover, the developers verified fork ancestry, meaning every node must mathematically prove it traces back to the legitimate origin. Even if every public forge was wiped clean, the failsafe remains. Anyone with an offline local clone can push the repo back up to any host, and the swarm bootstraps itself again. This cross-platform redundancy means the code survives as long as a single copy remains online on any compatible forge. DevSwarm operates as an active environment rather than a dormant backup system. Right now, you can open a file directly from the repository and run real-time pair programming using WebSockets, independent of a central host. The roadmap includes integrations for erasure-coded IPFS storage and auto-migration scripts that trigger if a platform fails. This proves we don't always need to build a new internet to achieve decentralization. We can achieve a resilient network by repurposing the version control tools we already use. To join the swarm, you just have to click fork.